she recently Pop, pop, pop. And we are live. And this is a special morning because, touch wood, so far this is the first live that I have run where nothing has gone wrong. Like, there's normally some sort of tech issue, or the camera dies on me, or the volume's not working, or like the dog's barking, or there's always something that jumps out and says, "Hey, George, you can't do this right now. You're going to have to sort it out." And then I spend half an hour trying to fix it. So today is exciting. I have my coffee. I'm ready to do the thing. We've got some people in here already. Good morning. Good morning. If I know you, put some stuff in the chat. If I don't know you, how are you doing? My name is George. I was diagnosed with brain cancer back in August 2024. And I am sharing that journey here on YouTube, sharing the story and how I'm approaching it. Hey, Ellie, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. I'm just going to try and sort out if I can see these things. There we go. I'm getting used to this new software, and it's still not perfect, but it's getting there. Yeah. So yeah, I'm George. I'm George, diagnosed with brain cancer, sharing the journey here on YouTube, and ultimately the goal is to try and adjust the perspective of these things that come around in life and slap us and lay a load of shit on our lap into not shit, and kind of polish that up into something actually quite good and positive and beneficial in our lives. Adjust that paradigm, adjust that perspective, so that hopefully someone out there at some point somewhere might get something out of it that adjusts how they perceive things in life. But if you have any questions, absolutely anything, shout them in the comments, in the chat. I really like the really dark, like the darkest questions you can get. I really, really love it. So yeah, chuck them in the chat. I'd love to answer anything that you have. Ellie, whereabouts are you based? I am in New Zealand, in Rotorua. I love it here. Oh, I love a good coffee. Love a good coffee. So today, one thing I wanted to chat about is about how we approach life. So as such, life doesn't happen to us, it happens through us. So psychologically, we have a choice on how we can approach things that come through. Massachusetts! Hey, awesome! Welcome, welcome. Is it your first time coming across me? Or have you been on the channel for a while? So a lot of what I'm doing with the channel, but then also myself working on, is the psychological side of things. So how do I create the most powerful, solid foundation of psychology that I can, in ultimately the goal to build upon? So our psychology, the way that we perceive things, ultimately becomes our identity. And in our identity, that is the step forward into making those decisions. Those decisions are the ones that will either change our life for the better or potentially be quite damaging. So for me, it was, I got diagnosed. What can I do to better my situation so that I make the correct decisions to move forward from, rather than play the victim mindset of, oh, I've been diagnosed with cancer, this is really shit, I've got like all these symptoms that I'm having to manage and deal with, but I can either look at it and accept that and to take that as who I am and then adjust my behavior accordingly to that, or I can look at it and go, okay, I've been diagnosed with this, there are things that are coming along that I need to learn from, that I can learn to use for my advantage. So perfect example would be something really heavy hits me. So I get a lot of partial seizures, a lot. Like, they're not crazy, they're sort of slightly dizzy. I get left side numbness, tingly sensation, and generally just feel absolutely wiped out and foggy in the head. And they last maybe 2 to 5 minutes, something like that. And I get, at the minute, like 3 a day, something, yeah, around that number. I have had points where I was having 15 or more a day, which is intense, absolutely intense. And the goal is, rather than looking at that as, this is shit, I'm just going to sit on the sofa and eat chocolate all day, is, okay, this is something to test my resilience. This is something to develop me, to give me character. And that little switch becomes repeated an identity. It's something that we go, okay, this is who I am. I'm going to develop this resilience. I'm learning from it. It's building me. It's not degrading me down. Ellie, have you come across the thought to identity process? I mean, a lot of people have kind of come across it, but it's one of those things that we're aware that our thoughts can change us, but not entirely sure how in the psychology. Like, what does it actually do? What is the process that gets there? So really simply, we have a thought, and that could be good, it could be negative, it could be somewhere in the middle. But we have that thought, and let's say let's come up with a good one. So my thought could be, I'm really unfit. I'm really unhealthy. And I have that thought. I'm like, okay, cool. Random thought. I'm unhealthy. I'm unfit. The part where it starts to get interesting is that if we repeat that thought, if we keep on thinking, man, I really am unfit, or I shouldn't go, I can't really get up this hill or work out in the gym, that thought slowly but surely becomes a story. We give it a narrative. We give it meaning. We go, okay, well, I'm unfit. That's really bad. Really bad. That's really bad. That then hops into the next level of the process, which is then a belief of, oh, I really am unfit. This is really not good. And maybe that'll adjust. Maybe that'll adjust into more of a thought of, I don't like my body, or I feel insecure in my body, those sort of processes. It starts to pick up speed, right? From that point, because we've given it meaning and we're starting to believe it, we then have a psychological and physiological response. So in the same way that when we, for example, watch a horror film, we, despite it being fake, despite it being this story, we still get those physiological responses, right? Our heart rate increases, we might start sweating, we get that fear emotion come through. So we think we're unfit. We start to give that a meaning, we give it a narrative, we create that belief based around whatever that is, that repeated thought. We then have the physiological response, and that is where it ingrains, it becomes part of us. It's something that, because of the emotional response, it comes in and it becomes who we are. That then hops into becoming our identity. We then truly, deeply believe that we are unfit, that we have no agency over it, that we've lost control, that we don't like our body. And so simply that single thought repeated suddenly has such an impact on who we are and then our behaviors moving forwards. So the thing to do is to try and flip that on its head and go, okay, well, I can see that thought. I can stand third party to it and look at myself thinking that thought. And you can get really, really deep in this, where, like, who is thinking about me? You know, how many levels back can we get? And then who is that person? Who is that conscious being in the background looking at our own thoughts? Because if we can think, it's like a next level back. Cameron, how are you doing today, my friend? Cameron, welcome back, my friend. How are you doing? How are you doing today? How is sunny Texas? Right. Okay. I'm going to do this for you, man. How are you? How's life? Thank you for coming along. Really appreciate it. I'm going to open up Google. Let's go on to Google Maps. Okay. And I'm going to Texas. I'm going to Texas. Let's do this thing. Let's go all the way. Tell you what I should do. Should I screen share? I could screen share with you guys, and then you can have a proper look. Cameron, today is going to be a short one, probably about an hour, mainly because we've been having some, not issues, but we've had some kind of, a friend is in hospital, let's put it that way. Annalise, on the last live that we did on Friday, she had to disappear about halfway through, and we've got a friend in hospital. She's not very well, so this morning we've been rushed off to hospital again to go and see her, and so it's been a bit of a up down left right, trying to work out what we're doing. The standard routine has just been thrown into the ground, but we're doing all right. We're getting there slowly but surely. It's all right. I think she'll be okay. I hope she'll be okay, but it's one of those ones where you're on that tilt. You don't know which way she's going to go. So we're just providing the love, providing the support, doing as much as we can to keep her happy and healthy. But it's difficult. So today will be a short one because I have a lot of other stuff to be doing as well today. I've got all sorts. I've got a IV vitamin C bag to do, and then on top of that, hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy. So that will be an hour and a half, 2 hours in there. The IV vitamin C is an hour and a half. I got to go to the gym. I got to do some cooking. I got all sorts to do today. But we got new people joining in. Hey guys, my name is George. I was diagnosed with brain cancer back in August 2024, and yeah, I'm sharing that on YouTube. If you have absolutely any, and I mean any, questions, as dark as you want to go, as deep, anything, philosophical, the works. It doesn't even have to be cancer related. Chuck them in the chat. I really enjoy answering them, as Cameron might tell you. Oh man. Okay, so Cameron's in Texas, and for me, being English, I see Texas as being this just desert. Like there's nothing there. So I need to educate myself right now and go on Google Street Maps and have a look. Okay, Cameron, where in Texas are you? Like, are you outside? Is it down? It looks pretty. Well, on Google Maps it looks pretty green. To be fair, pretty green, man. Okay, maybe I stand corrected. It looks like the east hand side is pretty green. West hand is desert-like. Craziness. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's not actually that deserty. That's how I wish I could. I could potentially share my screen. Oh man, it's really green in the east. Huh. Learn something new. Learn something new every day. Okay, just look at the Dallas skyline. Okay, we're heading to Dallas. Dallas. Let's have a look. And I don't know where in Dallas I would be going to. Yeah, so green. What? Oh man, I'm so ignorant to it. So I got a lot of flack from the last live I did because it was suggested or questioned if/when I'm going to propose to Annalise. Oh, it went deep. Last chat, but we're doing all right. Give me a second, I'm just going to take my jumper off. Oh, okay, we're back in business. Now, Cameron, you asked good questions last time. Have you got any darker ones? Deeper ones? I want the worst. I want the worst. Okie dokie. So, something that I wanted to chat about, and I don't know whether you're interested in this or not, let me know, is the alternatives to the standard of care for cancer treatment. So, what other things out there can we do to have agency and take control of or influence that would benefit our treatment, right? And for me, when I was diagnosed, there was a deep, sudden feeling, mainly because of the doctors, of like a loss of control. So I was diagnosed, and then within a few days, it was like, hey, we're gonna get you in for some chemo. We're gonna get you in for radiotherapy. We're probably gonna do surgery as well. There was this sudden, whoa, okay, I have no idea what's going on. I haven't even processed what's happening inside me, let alone what my decisions are gonna be moving forwards. And there was this assumption that everything was going to be handed over to the doctors, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Just the slap in the face of, this is happening to you, we're going to take control. And so one of the first things that I did was put everything off. I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I need to deal with this. I need to work out what I'm doing. So I'm just going to say, okay, let's just put that on hold. Let's just chill out for a minute. Let's work out what's going on. Do I have time? Do I not have time? Those sort of things. I mean, the diagnosis when I was actually diagnosed was really heavy. Like, I was in floods of tears. Didn't really know what was going on, because there was no indication of something like this. Yeah, so I'd had a couple of partial seizures. I felt all right otherwise. I thought it could have been like an electrolyte imbalance, or I was just pushing it too hard at work. But then when I had the really heavy one in August and went into A&E, thanks to my partner Annalise, who was like, I think we should go to A&E. Because she got me in, and then I had the scan, it was 0 to 100 in like a couple of hours. And then to be dealing with that, to be straight into being told, you're going to do this, we're going to do this to you, we're going to get inside your brain, and we're going to dig it out with a spoon, and we're going to, all that sort of stuff. It was kind of terrifying, right? So the first thing I did, put it off to the side. I want at least a couple of weeks to just let this sit, let this settle. Do I have time? And they said, chances are yes, judging by what it looks like on the scan. So that's fine, but then we'll have another chat later on down the line. Hey, Serenity, how's it going? Cameron, I will come to your question. So I handed it off for a bit, and I took some time to really think about it and go, okay, either I can right now like sit back and let this thing roll, and I'm just going to hand over control, and that is the easiest thing to do, right? We've got these standards of care in place that we can rely on, especially, I mean, they're fantastic when you really think about it. The science of medicine. Mind-blowing stuff. But for me, when I was diagnosed, it was heavy. I wanted to give some time out to think. And having thought a lot about it and being told I had some time, I thought, okay, well, yes, the easy thing is to just let them decide everything for me and to go with the flow. That works for some people. I could do that, or I can basically fight for my life in every which way I can. I didn't wanna. I won't lose to this at all. This will be like, I'm unrelenting. This is what I'm doing. I'm going for it. It doesn't stand a chance. But I thought, okay, what can I do? How can I bring as many guns to bear on this thing as possible? And so that's what I've done. That's exactly what I've done. I've jumped forwards and started to learn as much as I could about it. Like, what is it? What does it do? How does it run? What's the molecular side of things? What's the biology of this? How do I make my body as hard to kill as possible? It's quite simple, really. Is how do I become the strongest version of myself to win this battle, so to speak? And so I went online, as many, many, many people do when they get diagnosed with this sort of stuff. And like I was saying earlier, the biggest thing for me was, how do I get my head straight? How do I get my mindset as positive about this as possible? Because with the positivity, I'll take action, and those actions will improve my chances. So I was like, okay, what can I do? Let's do this. And that's where the mindset training and the psychology came in. That's where I went online to try and find someone out there who maybe had similar to me, or exactly the same, that was going through a similar situation, similar story that I could learn from. And there were people like, sharing their stories of chemo, radiation, all those sort of things. But there wasn't anyone that was specifically looking to help people or educate people on the psychology behind these things. And I don't have a background in psychology. However, I have learned a lot and been working a lot on myself in the last nearly 2 years. And so that's when this channel was formed. It was like, okay, cool. There's no one out there doing it. Maybe that's what I do. Maybe that's the thing. Because I'd lost my job. I can't drive, which cuts down my abilities for work drastically. And I thought, okay, this is my time. I've up till now not known what I wanted to do. I didn't know really what direction I wanted to go with in my life. I was enjoying my work, like working as a nature guide, a zipline guide, teaching people about ecology, which is my background. Like survival education is my jam. But I didn't know. I was still kind of throwing shit at the wall and hoping something stuck, but I just didn't know. And then this landed, and I was like, man, this is it. This is what I do. This is my story. This is where I go. And to be of service of others, to help others, is just, it's so beautiful. It's like there's deeper meaning to my life that I've not had before. Like Aristotle calls it telos, like a higher purpose to our lives. And we spend our lives trying to find that. And when we find it, it's like, okay, I can get up in the morning, I want to go and do this. There's not a part of me that's like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed this morning. I can't be asked to go to work. This is it. This is what I'm doing. So yeah, this is me. I'm here doing the stuff. I'm sharing the journey. We've got more people joining. So hey guys, if you have absolutely any questions, chuck them in the comments. I love them. Cameron comes up with some really, really heavy ones, which is awesome. I really appreciate it. Let's get to some of them. Okay, Cameron, let's have a look at this. Time machine question. I love these sort of questions. Philosophical kind of stuff. If you had a time machine and only one choice, would you travel to the past or the future? And why? Okay, so we're assuming we can go back in time. Where would you go? Okay, where would I go? I think I would go back in time and to Paleolithic Britain. I go back to when, we were Stone Age in Britain, just to see how our ancestors, or my ancestors in particular, lived, and what they were capable of. Because I think we it's really sad actually. We portray people back then, like documentaries or films, as really, really stupid. Like the Neanderthal side of things with huge eyebrow ridges and really stocky. And I'd love to go and see how Homo sapien, us, used to live, because I feel like biologically they were no different to us. So how did they interact with the natural world without the technology? And back then, when there was just like healthy ecosystems, and we were part of it. We were one of the land. We were, and we still are, of nature. That's when I'd go. That's why I like that question. Camera. Serenity, hello, hiya. Whereabouts are you watching from? Well, I get people from all over the show, like the US, Bangladesh, Australia, the works. I'm so proud of you for doing this channel, if that means anything to you. I love your story and what you're doing, fam. Cameron, thank you. I appreciate your love, and your generosity. It means a lot. It means a lot. Serenity. Right, you're a survival guy. Cool. I have a loved one with brain cancer. Don't know what kind. Man, I am sorry to hear that. That's it's heavy news. Hey, it's not something easy to navigate. But it's certainly not the end by any stretch. It's one of those things that, I don't know, sadly, but also in a positive slant, life is a tragedy. When you really think about it, it's an absolute tragedy. Every single one of us will experience absolute heartbreaking loss, sadness, but then the opposite, will experience absolute utter joy, and freedom, and those positive thoughts, because we have to have that in life, right? To feel joy, happiness, we have to have had the opposite. We have to have felt the sadness, so that our like scale that we move through in life emotionally can be what's the word that I'm looking for? Calibrated. So that scale can be calibrated. Yeah. So Serenity, and you're Eastern USA. Hey, you got Cameron over in Texas. So I have, and I need to be very particular with my language here, because it's linguistic determination. Like I have to use certain language for you guys to understand what things are. But you may notice this. I never say my cancer, or my brain tumor, or anything along that line. That's for a very important reason, in that if I am to call it my tumor, or some people like give it a name, it's a if you're repeating that, it becomes part of who you are, right? It's your identity. It's okay, I have brain cancer. That is my thing. That's what I do. That is my identity. And that in turn can lead to some really damaging behaviors, and ultimately things that might jeopardize getting through it, survival rates. So the tumor that I have is an astrocytoma grade 3. It's got three mutations. One is an IDH mutation, one is an ATRX mutation, and the other is I always get the letters done, MGMT mutation, something like that. And actually, turning it onto the other. So I had surgery back in October to partially debulk, and I had a cyst in there that they had to go and drain. It looks like I'm going to have that surgery again. So because they went in and they got the biopsy at the same time, that's crazy useful, because knowing what those mutations are, knowing how the cancer operates and what it is, gives me it's kind of like knowing what the enemy is. Yeah, you're going into battle knowing what you're working against, and so you can exploit those things that you know about them. So for me, I know one of those mutations means that it is, as a cancer goes, hyper focused on using glucose as an energy source. So what that means is I can target that that compromise in the cell. So for example, for me, I'm following a very strict keto diet, like very strict keto diet, pretty much carnivore diet. Because in ketosis we swap into running on ketones, on fatty acids and ketones. It then also keeps my blood sugars nice and low. So I sit pretty much 24/7 at 4 to 4.5 millimoles, which is reasonably low, but that's really good because then there's not as much glucose in my bloodstream, there's not as much fuel for the cancer to grow. And that is, it's such a powerful tool, right? And in a way, I listened to my gut, because before I had the diagnosis, I'd learned about the metabolic approach to cancer. Professor Thomas Seyfried, if any of you are interested in that sort of thing. I'd learnt about that because I went online and started researching for things that I can physically do, diet being one of them. And I wanted it to be sustainable. And I'd, for a long time, been following the paleo diet. I've always thought that the further from nature we get, the more problems we find. So I wanted to have an ancestral diet that links in with the biology. Lost my train of thought again. So that's what I did. Jumped onto a keto diet within 2.5 weeks of being diagnosed. Have been on that since. And I'm taking advantage of that aspect of the cancer cell so that I can do everything I can. Like, why not? Why not? And it is crazy because most cancers, all cancers run off of some form of fuel, generally speaking glucose. And in comparison to a healthy cell, so you've got a healthy cell, can run off of glucose. It's quite an inefficient energy to run off. It's just why you get these peaks and troughs in your energy. You have to run off of each sugar high or glucose high. So you have ketones. Cancer cells can't they can, but not very efficiently run off of ketones. It's one of the reasons why metabolically they're screwed. So healthy cells can run off glucose, no problem. Cancer cells run on, depending on the type, nearly 20 times the amount of glucose as a healthy cell. So they are like crazy sugar hungry, and they will just go. So by hopping into ketosis, you're cutting that fuel source down, stunting the growth of cancers. I can go far more into detail on that if you guys are interested. Just let me know in the chat. I've learned a lot in the last couple of years. Cameron, another surgery, bro? Maybe. The last scan I had, a couple of weeks ago, shows that the cystic component has refilled and has got slightly larger than it was prior to my last operation back in October. So I'm waiting to hear. I don't know for sure, but I will find out pretty soon, I would assume, if they're wanting to get in there. And I'm hoping that if/when they go in there. So last time I had an open craniotomy, right? So they take like a chunk out of your skull so that they can get in there properly. There's enough space. Comes with a lot of risks, and also like the fallout from that, the recovery is so much longer. What I'm hoping is that if they want to go in this time, that rather than doing an open craniotomy, they can do a borehole. So they take a much smaller little circle of your skull out, and then they use a really long, smallish. When I say needle, it's not like a needle that you'd get an injection with or take your blood with, but it's a chunky needle. So they go in straight with that. It's called stereotactic. They kind of pin your head, and then they use MRI mapping, kind of like GPS, to guide the needle into where it needs to be. So rather than having your head absolutely opened up, they kind of zip in, zip out. It's far less invasive. So my hope is if they do that, or if they do want to go in there, that's what they'll do rather than open. But it could be that they need to do an open. I don't know. Who knows? All right, another one just for friendship bonding. Lol. What does it mean to be a good friend? My word. Ooh. I think friendship's a really interesting one because I think it can wax and wane, and I think that people are always changing, and so I don't know whether there's something specific to being a good friend. I think as long as you've got each other's backs and you're there as a shoulder to cry on, and there to experience life to the fullest. I think that's a good friend. Yeah, I think those... Big one is, I think, when you are away from a friend, I think a big thing about what classifies a good friend is if, when they're behind your back, they only speak good of you. That's a true friend. If they're behind your back saying things that are detrimental or nasty about you, nah. Even though they may not say it to your face, nah, I'm good, thanks. I'm very actually particular with my friends who I choose to really spend time with, because like we are the average of all of our friends, right? And our network is, well, it has such an impact on who we are as an individual. So I'm very particular. If there's somebody out there that is a friend, but they're not helping me become me, George becoming George, then as such, they're holding me back. And if I'm putting in a lot of energy for that friendship, it's not beneficial, right? It doesn't help me. And it sounds quite cold, but I will be very particular. And I have, like, I don't know, 5 people that I would consider really good friends, and they are the ones that I will basically give my life for. Like, they are family, near enough. That's my answer. And DWJP, hello! I'm just entering 9 months post-surgery. My God. It's a daily struggle. How are you coping? I had a botched surgery. They couldn't remove after 9 hours. They took sample, grade 2 Ollie. Wow. Okay. That's a lot to unpack. That is a lot to unpack. And welcome. Core. That's a challenge, isn't it? That sounds like that will have been rather frustrating. I would be rather frustrated, I think. 9 months post-surgery. So when you say it's a daily struggle, what's going on for you? If you don't mind me asking, like, how are you feeling about it? Is it more a physiological struggle, or is it more the mental game? Let me know. And how am I coping? I'm doing very well, very well. I think, like everyone, there are good and bad days. Generally, my bad days are dealable. Like they're not bad. I would say 90% of the time, my mental game is incredibly strong. Every now and again, I'll get that little lower step that I need. I have to have those little lower steps because that brings my calibration in with my emotional rainbow. So it's, in a way, it's good. I see those bad days as feedback. So rather than it being, this is shit, I'm just going to sit in this, it's, okay, how can I take agency and control of this? What have I been doing that has led to that? Or what have I not been doing that's led to that? So have I don't know, have I stopped having my cold showers in the morning? Have I stopped meditating? This is if it's your mental game. Physiologically, am I resting enough? Am I eating the right things? Am I taking the supplements or the drugs that I need to be taking? All these questions come in of what can I learn from it, right? How is it useful for me to feel that way? But botched surgery, my God, that's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. Cameron, thanks for all the comments, guys. Really appreciate it. Do you guys know, when you can click the heart thing, what does that do? I'm so new to lives. I have no idea. No idea what they do. Okay, there's also where I work. We have a lot of things focused on keto and paleo lifestyles, even vegan. So it's always interesting to see how certain diets work for people. Yeah. So, there are so many ways to skin the cat, as they say. There are so many ways and so many different people who have had different experiences that have benefited from going hardcore vegan or pescatarian or other way carnivore or keto, like across that entire spectrum, and people have had benefits across the board. And so the biggest thing, like the most powerful thing, and this is a question for you all, and let me know in the comments because I want to know your answers. Have you ever had a gut feeling that something is wrong, or that, I don't know, you've had this gut feeling about something in life that has turned out to be true? Like, let me know, because coming in a bit of a circle, I think one of the most powerful things we can do to take control of our life and to ultimately see that agency in life is to listen to ourselves, to listen to our guts. Like, my gut has shouted out about a number of things in life, and I wish I'd listened to it, because it turns out that it's all true. Like, pretty much every single one. Serenity, yes, exactly. I bet every single person watching this has had something in their gut that they're like, I'm not so sure about that. I don't know what to think of that. And then it's turned out to be true. It's powerful. So, my gut said to me, I've done all this research into diet and supplements and lifestyle. My gut feeling says, this is what's right for me. I'm going to do it. And just making that decision. Just making the decision. And saying, okay, that's what I'm doing. Yes, there might be research on other things. And I mean, there's research showing positives for absolutely everything if you dig deep enough. Like, there's research showing that smoking is really good for us. Like, really? So, big thing is just saying, hey, this thing resonates with me. I think I can do it long term. And I'm willing to do whatever that is. Otherwise, you're not being authentic. You're not listening to your gut. And if your gut is, as people often say, if your gut is telling you something, generally that's your authentic self. And if we only listen to it rather than caving to social pressure or all these other things that come in to try and guide us in a certain direction. Weird, hey? Where are we at? Love it. Serenity. 2 monumental events in our lives, our births and deaths, we have so little control of. Yeah. So we've got, that's so true. So we've got things we can control. So, for example, our actions, how we perceive things, mindset side of things. We've got the other side, which is things there's definitely no control over. Like, we don't know when we're going to die. Like, there's absolutely no control over that. Who knows? None of us know. But what we do know is that it will happen. And then you've got the things in the middle, which are the words? The influence, the influenceable, however you say that word. Those things that we can kind of influence and push in a certain direction. And that is entirely what our life is made up of. Right? We're just trying to push these little things that might get us to a certain place or doing a certain thing, or whatever it is. It's those goals that we're aiming for, right? And so it's about recognizing that, seeing the value in them, and then moving forward from it. That's so true, Serenity. So true. I was paleo for years. I want to go back. How long were you paleo? Did that make easier going keto? Okay, I have been paleo. Ooh. So I'm 32. I'm going to say nearly 20 years. I started really young. The whole family kind of went paleo. We kind of wanted to get healthier. All of us were kind of chubby, so we were deciding to make some change. And so we jumped onto the paleo bandwagon, and I love it. Absolutely loved it. I think, like, I like all things in life, I had periods, maybe a few months of like going, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat whatever, I don't care. And I would, I don't know, go and have a proper pizza, like a wheat pizza, flour pizza, or started introducing things that were like not part of the paleo diet, and I found that I would get crazy stomach cramps. I'd end up with diarrhea. I would feel so sluggish. My brain, like, capacity, I was just foggy all the time. And then it would, like, that's the feedback. That's the thing I was looking for, of pushing me back onto the train track that I needed to be on. So then I'd be like, nah, this isn't working for me. I'm going to hop back onto paleo. And every now and again, I did the same thing. Like, I just hopped to that lower of, oh, I wonder if, you let those cravings run. So yeah, I tried to, yeah, tried to sit with it for a long time. Felt a lot healthier for doing that. Highly recommend paleo diet. Or even just cutting down or cutting out sugar and seed oils is a big one. That's an interesting one when you look into cardiovascular health. Have a real dig into that. That's fascinating, and where the stories lie about it being fat, like cholesterol. Really interesting. Really, really interesting. Okay. I hope you slow. Let's have a look. Serenity, sorry. Lots of. Thank you for your comments, team. Thank you so much. Have you ever considered paleo may have helped you slow down your cancer progression? So that's a really good question. I have a little inkling, a little gut feeling. At school, so a long time ago now, I suddenly started to develop these piercing migraines on my right hand side, deep, and I used to go like blind in one eye, and they were awful, like really, really bad. One of the reasons why I didn't end up in the military because they failed me on my medical grounds. But I have an inkling, a wonder that maybe that was the start of it. Maybe it's been really slow growing because of my general diet for so long. I don't know. This is all conjecture, but yeah, I do wonder. I've thought that thought. Here on the friends thing, best friend lives several states away. We don't get to talk often, but I like how when we talk, it's like person play. Yes, I love those sort of relationships. The thumbs up helps, and I'll do it now. So it helps. It's not like you just when you say helps. Do you mean like it gets it out there to more people? Because if so, if you guys can hit that, that would be amazing. Yeah, the thumbs up and the heart thing. I've never understood it. Let's have a look. All part of becoming George Cameron. Exactly. I'm very interested in learning the diet side of things if you have time. Okay, internet is like the wash machine of information. NHS don't give you diet plan, just live normally and take. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. Whew. Let's get into the depth of nutrition. So I've because of the paleo thing happening years and years ago, I've had an interest in nutrition for a long time. So I've headed down various different routes, and I will add, I'm not a qualified nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. Not that doctors get trained much in nutrition, which I think is nuts. I'm not qualified in that front, but I have been very interested in what we eat and how that impacts our life on a day-to-day and on a lifetime basis. Okay, yeah. So DWJP, don't know what your name is, but hello. Feel free to chuck in any specifics. Like, is there something in particular that you're interested in learning about? Protein, yes or no? So, protein, 100% yes. It's ultimately the building blocks for our entire body. We need to have it in our life. And in my opinion, you need to have full proteins. So it's one of the things that I struggle with like the vegan diet. I've got a lot of respect that do the vegan diet, but I have some questions about it. If you are not getting a full spectrum of proteins, all of the amino acids, etc., then you are ultimately compromising how your body can build. Yeah. So things like beans, tofu, those sort of vegan side of things, or the vegetarian side of things, don't contain full proteins. Yeah. So in purely eating those foods and not including any full proteins like meats, you're just not giving your body all the fuel and the tools it needs in order to be healthy. That's my opinion. That's from the research that I've looked at. If you're going hardcore keto, there are certain key nutrients that you just cannot get from like vegetable matter, fruit matter. So like carnitine, creatine, choline, B12 you can supplement, and there are a couple of things, algae, things like that. B12, there's a whole handful of them, if not more. Taurine, I can't remember if I mentioned that. Quite a number of things that you will not be getting, and they are essential amino acids. So you can manage for a shortish period, a few years, let's call it, maybe a decade of not having them, or at least not having a huge amount of them. But if it gets longer than that, you start seeing that the body starts kind of breaking down. And that this is a real generalization. Some people are amazing. They supplement all of those things. They have real control. They're really on top of what they're putting in their body. Amazing. All power to them. But for general health, general population, I would eat far more protein than they tell us to eat. If you start looking into the details of it, of the requirements of the human body, we, in general, drastically undereat protein. We have to eat protein to be healthy. We have to eat fat to be healthy. Carbohydrate, there is no requirement for it in the human body. Nothing. There is no need for it. We don't have to eat them in order to be 100% healthy. So if there's no requirement for it, then that would suggest that, like every other animal out there eating their naturally based diet, they will be at full health capacity. Once you start introducing things into the diet that aren't right, you start to see those problems. But yeah, let me know, DWJP, if there's anything specific you want chatting. That's a long answer to your protein question. Sorry about that. Oh man. Okay, this is just go with low carb. Shoot, yes. To get to staff cancer. You do otherwise. That's why so many people on carnivore have gotten rid of tumors, cancer. Yeah, amazing, Roland is on it. So check out the metabolic approach to cancer. There's a lot of information on there. I am, touch wood, hopefully going to be doing an interview with Professor Thomas Seyfried about this, amongst another couple. There's Anthony Chaffee, a few others that I've managed to get in touch with. So I'm hoping at some point I might be able to get them on to talk about the real depth of science. But yeah, it's fascinating. So fascinating. Okie dokie. Like since diagnosis, I haven't had no potato, no rice, no corn, no carbohydrates, base carbohydrates, no bread, no sugar, no fruit, none, nothing. Just been eating fat and meat and protein. Yeah, highly recommend. I have had the odd courgette. They are a very low glycemic fruit, and mainly for longevity of being able to keep up with this, being consistent, because just eating meat and fat is quite it's a long-term game, right? I'd like to enjoy my food as well. I also have nuts every now and again as well, but I really try and keep those sort of things as low as I can go to keep my blood sugars stable. Cameron, do I have a hard time accepting heartwarming praise from others? I used to, and now when people are like, whenever they compliment me, I'm like, thank you. No, this is who I am. This is what I do. And I appreciate the love. I think it's really important to not let that build an ego based around character. I think it's really important that we don't we should stand up for ourselves and think positively of ourselves, but it shouldn't get to the point where we start to see ourselves as better than others. Does that make sense? Greetings from Mexico City. Wow, hello there. Welcome. Best books you've read until now. Well, I've related to resilience, adaptation to the situation, regardless of which it is. Okay. Best. So there's one called Chimp Paradox. I'll get back to that one second. Cameron, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming along. Really appreciate it. Really, really do appreciate it. And I always love your questions. And I will probably see you in the next one if you can make it. That'd be cool. My website and my consultations should be going live later this week. If you're interested. I've been having issues with trying to synchronize my diary from Google Calendars into it so that people don't double book me, but I think I've managed to get that fixed. So if you're interested in doing one-to-one consultations, mindset resilience side of things, just I'll let you know when it's up. People that don't know, I'm offering one-to-one mindset resilience, agility, strength coaching. The idea to help people really navigate some of these shitty situations that come in and just adjust the perspective, give some tools on how to navigate them in a way to find peace. Okay, so Chimp Paradox. Very good book. I think that's a really good, fundamental, single book that everyone should read. It's really user-friendly, it's engaging, it puts things very simply in terms of the psychology. And for me, it kind of allows people to have an awareness of their thoughts. You're not on that like roller coaster all the time of their emotions. It gives a chance to step back and be like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. And you step third party. That is one of the most empowering things that you can do. And I think it's nuts that it's not taught in schools, to have like ownership of the way that we think and not just be on that roller coaster all the time, which is just, it's chaos. There's so much suffering just from sitting on that roller coaster when you don't need it. Highly recommend that one. There's also a book called, I can't remember the author. It's called How to Unfuck Yourself. That's also a very good one. It's quite amusing. It doesn't hold back. It's very much giving it to you, the realities and the behaviors that we have and we create ourselves, and just being like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Have you thought about doing it this way? Really, yeah, highly recommend. Those two books are a really good start. There are links in my video descriptions that will take you straight to the right ones. Okay, let's have a look. What do you think of Parasite Day, WJP? Okay, parasite cleanses that a lot of people are doing. A lot of cancer fighting theories by doing so. David Blackburn, my friend. I'm originally from Kent, southeast near Ashford. Welcome aboard. Okay, parasite cleanses is something that came up quite quickly for me doing the research. I am all for it. Like I said, I am not a doctor. This is not advice. Go and do your own research. Make the decisions yourself. Talk to your medical professional team. But for me, there are a number of those parasite cleanses. So you've got fenbendazole, which is actually a veterinary drug, mebendazole, ivermectin. There's a whole host of them. So parasite cleanses, I'm for them, and I am currently on fenbendazole, 222 milligrams once a day. I think they're great because the research shows that they do impact tumor cells. They attack certain pathways, like things like glucose metabolization. And then a big one is with fenbendazole, for example, when a cell goes to split, mitosis. When it goes to split, there's like little bungees inside the cell on either side, and they connect to the duplicates of the internal structures, so the mitochondria, things like that. And then they like kind of start to pull apart. And that's what then pulls everything to either side. That causes the cell to divide, right? And cancers, I'm assuming most of you guys know, cancers ultimately it's uncontrolled division. They've had faulty mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell, which has then led to a genetic change, and that's where it starts to suddenly self-replicate on an uncontrolled level. So fenbendazole. From the research I've done, like I said, I'm not an expert, but I've done a fair amount. Those bungees, it kind of makes them a bit floppy. Yeah, it gets rid of the bounce and the bungee, so it can't pull apart as easily, and so in doing so helps slow the growth of the cancer. So I'm all for it. One, because it shows that, but two, it doesn't, at least in from what I've found personally and from other research out there, mebendazole is the same, ivermectin's the same. I mean, ivermectin's been around for a long time. We know the it's what's the words? Sometimes I get really foggy brained. That's just stuff going on up in there, obviously. We know, because it's been around for so long, ivermectin, we know its like damage profile. We know its profile. We know what it will do to the human body. And so looking at fenbendazole and the antiparasitics, basically that there's very little evidence showing that it does any long-term damage to us. So I think if you're weighing up, hey, I've got this thing going on in my body, like I've got the cancer in my brain, got this thing, it's not ideal. What's the risk benefit analysis, right? I've got something I could take that might do some good, that doesn't seem to cause any long-term damage. Why not? Like, you may as well throw as much as you can at it and hope that it sticks and does something positive, especially when it's not going to cause long-term damage. Unlike, well, chemotherapy, which causes a lot of damage. They wanted to put me on temozolomide, which, I mean, one of the first things the oncologist said to me was, we want to put you on temozolomide. I think that's right. We'll need to get you seen by a fertility specialist because it has been shown to cause fertility issues. So if you're wanting kids in the future, we might have to get a bank set up. And I'm like, so if that's the stuff that we know about and it's a reasonably new drug, what's the longer term stuff? What don't we know yet? That's my thoughts on the parasitic side of things. I have links in my videos as well, and on my link tree to where I get those things from. Really good company out there actually, which I use in the States. Highly recommend. Lovely people. Cameron, thank you for your support, my friend. I will be in touch soon. I'll be in touch soon about the consultations. Thanks for updating me. Oh, thanks. I'm a huge fan of your UK Dr. John Campbell. So, you know, one thing I really like about him is that he doesn't come at it with like his own opinions. He comes into, I love how he does his videos because it's like, okay, well, we're just going to work through this methodically. And he looks at the research. He doesn't give his opinion to it. He's very much, this is the facts and the figures. We're just going to go through it. You guys make sense of it how you want to. My God, is that refreshing. So good. So good. I think he's got just need to protect that man at all costs. I first came across him during the pandemic, during COVID, because I didn't really trust the I didn't trust the sudden rollout of vaccination and the enforcing of it. That didn't sit well with me. I think people should have choice over what they put in their body, and the fact that there was coercion and forcing, especially within the medical staff, of like basically being the guinea pigs for it, and saying you won't have a job if you don't take it. That just, enforced vaccinations, that's a scary train to jump on, and that leads to some. I mean, you look historically at where other places have done those sort of things. That you let one thing through the door, suddenly you got 10 more. But that's politics. We won't get into politics. I'm assuming we have some new people in here because we've had people coming and going. Hi there, I'm George. I was diagnosed with brain cancer, and I'm sharing that here on the YouTubes, doing the stuff. I will be doing a video on. Oh, I've got something going on my camera screen. temperature verge. If I die, you know why, team. But yes, I'll be doing a video on metabolic approach, and then I'll also be doing one on my protocol. So, like in particular, the supplements and other medications that I'm taking to try and get on top of this thing, which I've added a new 2 in the last week. So it's like a proper load of pills. It's crazy, like a little small handful every day. He's genuine. Nobody earnestly wants the best for people. Found out to see pre-COVID, admire him so much. Yeah, I'm all for him. I think he's a fantastic man. He gives a lot of value and a lot of insight onto things that most people maybe don't. Either they don't know about, or they've never they've never come across this stuff, right? And so he's going, well, let's look at the science. Let's look at this in a very objective way, and that's I love that. I love the refreshing nature of it. Okay, team. I'm probably not going to be on here that much longer, so if you have any last questions, queries, mumble grumbles, anything, just chuck them in the chat. I'll go through them and then I'll probably jump off. If you aren't subscribed and you'd like to subscribe, that would be cool. I'm just not long ago past the 3,000 subscribers mark, which I am like, I don't know how, like 3,000 people. Can you imagine just 3,000 people stood in front of you in like a field? That's bonkers. It's just bonkers amount of people. When I started the channel, I thought I was going to get a couple of hundred people maybe. Amazing. Just amazing. And I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoy connecting with you guys as well. It's lovely to give back, be human about this stuff, because we all put this facade, we put this mask on to show the world of who we are, and I think it's very damaging long term. We put up this mask, and it doesn't help us in the long term. Serenity, you strike me as the same sort of chap. But I'm nowhere near as intelligent as John, but I mean, if I could ever end up like that man, I would be very, very happy with my life. What a champion. What an absolute legend of a man. Let's have a look. David, are you still on here? If you are, I have a question for you. Hey, check this out. There's mutt. Oh, you can't even really see it, because it's too close. That's annoying. It's like, so it's handmade. We, Annalise and I went to Whangarei in north of the North Island, in New Zealand, and we went to this little class workshop type thing, and they had all the glass making workshop that you could get above and then watch them making it, and they were making these tumblers, these glasses. I'm like, oh my god, it's so interesting to watch if you've never seen it. But we were like, hey, shall we? It was our anniversary, 8-year anniversary. So we're like, hey, let's just buy one each. So we've each got our own little mugs. It's quite cute. Okay, team. So I'm just gonna. I need to double check my camera. I don't know why it's overheating. That's very odd. I've not had that before. It's a new one. Tech issues. Why do I get so many tech issues on here? I don't get it. Made some notes on a couple of things I wanted to chat about to you guys. Yeah, so we live in this dichotomy, right, of life. We have north, south, left, right, good, bad, black, white. We always have those two options, and we have to, and that's the same with our emotions. Yeah, so happy, sad, those sort of things. So something that I would highly recommend to all of you is to be hyper aware that we have to balance the perception of those things. We have to, because if we can't regulate our emotions, we don't have control of our emotions, then we're at the mercy of them. And so rather than being on the seesaw, it's about stepping to the side and looking at it, kind of third party, and going, okay, well, that's that and that's that. Cool. I'm not that and I'm not that. We aren't our thoughts, right? Because we aren't our thoughts. We can adjust our thoughts. If we get scared at a horror movie and we get those physiological responses despite it being fake, then we're not those thoughts. We're not those feelings. Doesn't make them any less real. Like, we still feel them, but we have a choice in how we interact with them, right? And something you've got to think is by balancing that seesaw, that perception, that regulation of emotions. It's like you've got to have the north and the south pole for the Earth to spin, right? You have to have those two dichotomies to spin the Earth, and we're exactly the same. You just got to look at it in that way, adjust perception, create the regularity of thought towards what you are or how you're wanting to perceive things, so that eventually it becomes your default, and then you are not on that roller coaster, like I've mentioned before, which is such a peaceful place to be in life, because you're not on that roller coaster. You have a chance to just sit and just be. This is what it is. There's nothing good or bad innately about anything. It's just what it is. And so I can sit in peace, because happiness is fleeting. Happiness is something that you can never truly obtain, because at some point the happiness will turn to sadness, because we have to have that balance in life. We have to have those two options, yeah? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys. Sometimes I'm like, what am I rambling about? What is going on? What is going on in life? Yeah, and it's like we looking for that peace. We ultimately find that all suffering is ultimately stemmed, or the root causes are from trying to avoid the unavoidable and trying to obtain the unobtainable. So we create the stress within ourselves. And especially when it comes down to health, we want to keep that stress as controlled as possible. Because obviously your cortisol level goes up, you get systemic inflammation, all sorts of cascades come from purely being in a heightened level of stress for an extended period of time. So one of the key things in order to regain health, both mental and physical, is control that stress. You then approach everything that happens in your life, every situation, every decision comes from a place of peace, not from a reaction of fear or pain or discomfort. And so from that point, you can make really solid decisions and actions. And that has this snowball effect into every aspect, every deep corner of your life. It's kind of beautiful. Kind of beautiful. So yeah, team, I think I am gonna probably call that there, unless you guys are wanting to throw in any last final quick questions. It's always a pleasure. It's always good fun. I always have tech issues for some reason. It's really annoying that something always fudges up at some point on there. But yes, I will be posting a couple of videos this week, long form videos, getting right into the detail of my protocol and into the science behind the metabolic approach, into the ketone side of things. And yeah, I will be posting them. Keep an eye out for them. If you're not subscribed, if you fancy subscribing, that would be epic. I really appreciate it. Okay, Serenity, right. Light from Kilgood Bright. Love the Prophet. I think there's one phrase in there that really resonates with me. And it's something like, the earth longs to feel the soles of your feet. I think it's so beautiful. I mean, I'm a barefooter. I spend a lot of time barefoot, but we are this collective consciousness. You know, there is no separation between us and each other. Every single part of this integral, endless, beautiful world that we live in. And yeah, it's just beautiful. So beautiful. Even when things are challenging, we're lucky to be able to experience those things. You know, I could not exist. I could not have the option to be able to experience the depth of emotion, both positive and negative. So beautiful. Okay, team. Well, thank you very much for attending. I really appreciate it, more than you know. And thank you for sticking around with me. All of the support and love is just lovely. Really, really appreciate it. Alrighty. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
How to fix Streamlabs connecting the chat. Fixing Streamlabs chat connection keeps your stream engaging and your viewers connected, creating a lively and settings here below. After clicking on your settings, go ahead and tap the advanced tab here, and we're going to scroll down and we should see something under sources. As you can see here in the sources, I have this enable. You are just going to uncheck this one. It says enable browser source hardware acceleration, and then it requires a restart. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to hit done, and then we're going to go back to settings once again. After going back to settings, we're going to log out our Streamlabs account, and then we're going to restart this one. After restarting, I want you to go ahead and open your Streamlabs and then log back in. And yeah, basically that's how you're going to fix Streamlabs connecting to chat problem. And by the way guys, you should totally think about leveling up your streaming game with